Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Magic Square. This is MS B28A, the tapes team. That's right, you can tell this is a third-party take on some of Soundwave's cassettes. Now, unfortunately, and I think this is a little bit sly, you don't get any cassettes at all with Soundwave. So when you buy Soundwave, you don't get any cassettes at all, you just get this actual figure. So I suppose, well, it's up to yourself. You might just want the cassettes, but let's be honest, if you're going to get the cassettes, then you're pretty much going to want Soundwave as well. Right, the artwork though on the front is brilliant. Magic Square are like lots of other third-party companies who like to do their own take on our favourite Generation 1 figures, but because they're not licensed by Hasbro or Takara, they can't use the proper names, hence them not having a full name for them, any of them, to be honest. You get the instructions here as well, which again, they're not too bad, to be honest, but you also get a collector's card, but you just get one for all four. I'm going to do a couple of comparisons quickly, but I'm then going to do a much more detailed comparison video at a later date. So what you get is, and again, this isn't me guys, so please don't bite my head off, you get their take on what they're obviously classing as Rumble, because they're going by the cartoon, not by the comic or the Takara things. And as you can see very quickly, it is much smaller. So I suppose this is what I want to get across. I want to get across just how small these are, because in honesty, some of these, I think because they've gone too small and too intricate, they're not fun, which makes me sound like a bit of a hypocrite, because I love Doctor Who figures. I absolutely love Doctor Who figures. I know they're tiny, but I feel with this, because the ball and socket joints are just so small, they just lose that, I suppose, little bit of yeah, exactly that word, they lose that little bit of fun for me. Maybe I'm overreacting, who knows, but let me show you Rumble anyway. So the head, you can you turn it around? I thought you could. Yes, you can. There's still articulation right there on the head. The shoulders are ball and sockets. The waist will swivel all the way around, and the legs as well. They're not like ball and sockets, but they're on separate hinges. They can kick forwards, kick backwards. Same with the knees. That's a ball and socket, so that'll move around. And you've even got an ankle tilt and ankle rock. I think what it is with these figures is Magic Square use this like softish sort of feel plastic, so it just doesn't feel right, whereas like Doctor Who and New Age, well, Doctor Who use just a normal plastic, and New Age use like it just feels more robust, shall we say. You can see all the articulation points on the back there. These also come off as well, and of course so do these. And I think, and I'll just double check, I'm pretty sure that you can use this. Yes, you can use this very similar to the Generation 1 figures as a little bit of a blaster as well. So if I take that off, because obviously he's not going to balance at all, bring this down, and as I said, very quickly, but I'm going to do a much more detailed video on all of the Generation 1 comparisons, but hopefully this is going to give you an idea of, I suppose, just how small he is. Yes, my original cassette, you can see there, he's seen better days, hasn't he, bless him. He's very loose, and his head is completely in. But anyway, that is their take on a Rumble figure. So let's move him out of the way. This is their take on a Ravage, and this is probably why I think this is quite weak, to be honest. It's just as weak as this, and I don't like this one either. So as I say, I'm not picking favourites or anything. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what it is. There's millions of bits of articulation on this. In fact, quickly, just whilst he's here, and again, he probably won't stand up. So they've all got their flaws, let's be honest. They've all got their flaws. I've not seen anybody make a perfect Ravage yet, but that sort of gives you an idea of scale. Oh, I'm knocking everything over here with them. Let's just move that out of the way as well, just to show you that you can't swivel it, but that's where the tape pretty much folds in half. You've got ball and sockets, which I'm going to class as hips. So on the front legs and the back legs, the head won't. Yes, it will. The head will rotate as well. It's quite detailed. It really is quite difficult trying to show you any of the actual details on here, but you can see where you've got all these metallic reflecting metallic silver circles. That is, of course, hinges, so you can move the legs and the joints on all of these. So you know, they are super articulate, but that makes them super fiddly for me. Anyway, that really makes them super fiddly. Now, the best one out of the entire bunch for me is Laserbeak. I don't know why, this one just seems to really work, and I think the transformation process is just a smaller version of the Masterpiece, which typically I've sold on. It just seems to be a shrunken down, exactly the same version, exactly the same transformation process as the Masterpiece. Now this one seems to work okay for me. Now I'm pretty sure, can he rest, or at least let's have a look. I'm not too sure. Again, I know with obviously the New Age figures, they put magnets in theirs so they would rest on it, whereas these don't, by the looks of it. There's nothing I can see on Soundwave where that would attach correctly and safely to, if you know what I mean. But although that, I was saying that, as I say, that is still my favorite. There is the G1. Out of all of these tapes, there's the G1, and then here is one of the War for Cybertron ones. To be honest, I can't remember exactly which one, but as you can see, much smaller than, of course, both of them. Way smaller. Right, moving on to the final one, which is, it's quite interesting, but of course the most important thing, in fact, before we get there, this part, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I'm sure this has come and it's supposed to go for Soundwave. It comes in with this particular pack, it comes in the instructions, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that would be an attachment for Soundwave. Maybe one of the others, but on the top of my head, all I can remember is that, and I'm pretty sure, now I'm saying that, oh yeah, the Masterpiece, which I haven't got in his hands at the moment, and you can't see any of the Takara Masterpiece, yeah, I'm sure it does. Anyway, it comes with this, so I've got to show you that, obviously. And then, of course, the most important thing in this day and age, even though they have no space in today's society and they're completely defunct as cassettes, I'm going to show you this one in a second, is do they fit in his chest? And the good answer is that yes, they do. So again, that for me makes a lot of the things acceptable, because that's what it's really about. And there you go, that makes that look brilliant. Now the issue you've got, again, if you remember from the review with this doesn't eject. You've got to actually use your fingernails, and then sometimes they don't come out, but what you'd have to do is open up the back of this, open up the back of that, and then what you'd be able to do is push the cassette out. So it's a bit of a pain in the bum, but that's Soundwave's problem, and not, of course, this tape cassette. Let me just pop this back on, because this is, of course, the probe. And again, I like the fact, this is one positive thing, I like the fact that third-party companies have addressed this little thing here. This is, of course, the probe. Transformation process on this is, you can just see exactly what it is, but you'll see what I mean about how small, how tiny, and sometimes, let's be honest, how much of a pain in the bum they are. This one is not too bad, but there you go. There is your little probe. Let's bring them all in. There is your Laserbeak. There is your Ravage. There is the Soundwave, which, remember, guys, he's a separate purchase, and there's a separate review of him on this channel. There they are all together as a team, and that is, I suppose, I don't know why they don't. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they have in the past. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know. Maybe they did release them all as a set, or maybe they did just do exactly this to get you to buy both of them, which all companies do, of course. But there you go. It was a bit, I think, a bit cheap not giving one single cassette with Soundwave. But there you go. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think of these in the comments, guys. Take care.